My brothers and sisters, listen very carefully. There is a moment in your life where Allah is calling you, not through a dream, not through a sign, not through a person, but through your own pain. When everything feels heavy, when your heart feels tired, when nothing seems to move, that is Allah telling you, come to me when the world is asleep, and I will open for you what the world has closed. The doors you are begging for, the peace you are searching for, the healing you are crying for. They do not begin in the daylight, they begin in the quiet of the night. Tonight, your life can change with one sincere sajda, if only you answer the call. Tahajjud opens the doors you don't even know are closed. Sometimes in life you feel stuck, but you don't know why. You feel like you're trying, you're making dua, you're working hard, but nothing is moving. It feels like you're standing in the same place, no matter how much effort you put in. This is because not every blockage in your life is visible. Some obstacles are hidden. You can't see them, you can't point at them, and you can't explain them to people, but these hidden blockages affect everything. Your money, your peace, your relationships, your opportunities, and even the direction your life is going. Sometimes the blockage is a sin you forgot to repent for. Sometimes it's a mistake from your past that still affects your present. Sometimes it's envy from others. Sometimes it's your own fear, overthinking, or attachment. Sometimes it's something Allah removed to protect you, but your heart never understood why. And sometimes it is simply Allah delaying something until your heart is ready. You can't see these things during the day because life is loud, your mind is busy, your emotions are scattered. Your heart is tired, but during Tahajjud, when the world is quiet and your soul is honest with Allah, the doors that were stuck begin to open. Allah removes burdens you didn't know you were carrying. He clears paths you didn't know were blocked. He lifts things from your life that were quietly stopping your growth. It happens gently, without noise, without warnings, without you even realizing it at first. You just start noticing that life feels lighter. Your heart feels calmer. Something that was not working before suddenly begins to move. People who ignored you begin to notice you and opportunities appear. Conversations change. Your mind opens, your energy improves, your path becomes clear. This is the effect of one sincere moment at night, when you turn to Allah with a heart that is tired, but still hopeful. You don't need long words, you don't need perfect Arabic, you don't need long surahs. You just need a heart that says, Ya Allah, I don't know what is blocking me, but you do. Please open the doors that are closed and remove whatever is stopping my life from moving. And Allah responds in ways you never expected. That is why one prayer at Tahajjud can fix things that months of effort could not. It can open doors you didn't even know were locked, and it can make life move. After a long time of feeling stuck, this is the power Allah places in the quiet moments of the night. Tahajjud makes your dua a priority in the heavens. During the day, life pulls your attention everywhere. Your phone keeps ringing, people talk to you, your mind runs from one thought to another, and your heart becomes full of noise. Even when you make dua during the day, your heart is not fully present. Part of you is thinking about work, part of you is thinking about people, part of you is thinking about what you need to do next. Your dua gets mixed with distractions, with rushing, and with stress, with tiredness. But when you stand for Tahajjud, the entire world becomes silent and there is no noise, no rush, no pressure, no one calling you, no one watching you. Your heart finally speaks without interruption. Your soul finally breathes without fear, and your dua rises at a time when Allah is inviting you to ask. In this moment, your words are not just heard, they are carried straight to the heavens with honor and purity. Your dua is treated differently at night, and it is not one among thousands. It is not mixed with distractions. It is not rushed. It is not half-hearted. It goes up in a clean, focused way because it comes from a heart that woke up just for Allah. Imagine Allah looking at you while the world sleeps and He sees you standing tired, broken, but sincere. Imagine Him saying, this servant left their warm bed just to speak to me. How can such a dua not be honored? How can such a whisper not be prioritized? How can such a request not be treated as special? When you raise your hands at Tahajjud, your words carry a truth that is sometimes missing during the day. You ask with less ego. You ask with less distraction. You ask with more softness, more honesty. And Allah responds with more mercy than you can imagine. This is why one whisper at this time can break a chain you've been trapped in for years. It can open a door that has been shut for a long time. It can heal a wound you thought would never close. It can change a destiny you thought was fixed. Because a dua made during tahajjud is not just a dua dash dash. It is a moment of pure honesty between you and Allah. And when you speak to Allah with sincerity, Allah responds with power. This is why the night prayer is special. Your dua is not lost. It is not ignored. It is not delayed without wisdom. It is lifted with honor. It is received with love. And it is answered with perfect timing. That is the beauty of calling upon Allah when the world is asleep. And tahajjud strengthens your heart more than anything else. There are moments in life when your heart feels tired in a way you can't explain to anyone. You smile in front of people, but inside you feel weak. You try to stay strong, but small things hurt you deeply. You want to move forward, but your heart keeps pulling you backward. This happens because the heart is the softest part of you, and it breaks faster than anything else. People's words affect it. Disappointment affects it. Stress affects it. Loneliness affects it. Even your own thoughts can hurt you more than anyone else can. And when the heart becomes weak, everything else in life feels heavy. Your decisions become unclear. Your patience becomes thin. Your motivation disappears. Your peace becomes unstable. Even small issues begin to feel huge because the heart is not strong enough to handle them. This is where tahajjud becomes something extraordinary. When you wake up in the quiet of the night, your heart stands in front of Allah exactly as it is. Tired, confused, hurting, or empty. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to hide anything. You don't have to be strong. You just bring your real heart to the one who created it. And when you do that, something powerful begins to happen inside you. The heart that felt weak starts to breathe again. The heart that felt lost starts to find direction. The heart that felt broken starts to heal piece by piece. The heart that felt tight and heavy starts to feel lighter. Tahajjud gives strength to the part of you that carries all your emotions, all your memories, all your fears, and all your wounds. During the day, you may distract yourself from your pain with work, people, or routine. But during tahajjud, there is no distraction. You feel everything honestly. And because of that honesty, Allah gives you a strength that is pure and deep. You begin to notice changes within yourself. You don't get hurt as easily as before. You don't react emotionally to everything. You don't feel overwhelmed so quickly. You don't fall apart over small disappointments. You become calmer in situations that used to shake you. You start to forgive faster. You start to accept what you cannot control. You start to trust Allah more and worry less. You feel a courage that you cannot explain. You feel a peace that does not depend on people. This strength does not come from your mind. It does not come from motivational quotes. It does not come from self-help talk. It comes from the quiet moments you spent with Allah when everyone else was asleep. It comes from the tears that only Allah saw. It comes from the whispers that only Allah heard. It comes from the effort of waking up just to say, Ya Allah, I need you. When Allah strengthens your heart, everything else in your life becomes easier. You start handling situations that once terrified you. You start walking through tests that once felt impossible. You start seeing difficulties with a calmer spirit. You begin to trust that whatever happens, Allah is with you, and that becomes the foundation of your emotional stability. A strong heart is not a heart without pain. It is a heart with Allah in it. And tahajjud is what places Allah firmly inside your heart in a way that nothing in the world can shake. Tahajjud gives you clarity you cannot get in the day. There are times in your life when you don't know what to do anymore. Your mind feels crowded, your emotions feel messy, and every decision feels heavy. You think about something too much, yet you still don't understand it. You ask people for advice, but their words don't bring clarity. You try to ignore your confusion, but it keeps coming back. You feel stuck between your heart and your mind, and no matter how much you think, everything remains blurred. This kind of confusion is not solved by more thinking. It is not solved by talking to more people. It is solved when you take your confusion to the one who sees every corner of your heart. This is where tahajjud becomes a gift that most people never take. In the stillness of the night, when everything is quiet and life is not pulling you in 100 directions, your heart becomes honest with itself. You start to see your feelings clearly without pretending. The thoughts that were mixed with noise during the day become easier to understand. The fears that felt huge start to look smaller. The decisions that felt impossible begin to make sense. During tahajjud, your mind slows down in a gentle way. It is in these moments that Allah places clarity inside you. Sometimes clarity doesn't come as a loud voice or a perfect answer. It comes as a quiet understanding, like suddenly realizing what you should have realized long ago. It comes as a calm feeling telling you, this is right, or this is not for you, or wait a little longer, or trust this direction. It comes as a shift inside your chest, a softness that tells you Allah is guiding your heart gently. It comes as a peace over a choice that used to scare you. It comes as a sudden strength to let go of something you are holding on to tightly. It comes as a new idea, a new solution, or a new perspective that your daytime mind was too tired to see. During the day, you hear your fears louder than your faith. At night, your faith becomes louder than your fears. That is when decisions become clearer. One sincere dua in the middle of the night can reveal the truth behind your confusion. One moment of stillness can show you the wisdom behind something you didn't understand for months. One sajda can make you realize what is actually good for you, what is harming you, and what Allah has been trying to show you. Tahajjud doesn't just help you choose between right and wrong. It helps you choose between what looks good and what is truly good. It helps you separate emotional attachment from divine direction. It helps you see the difference between what your heart is begging for and what your soul actually needs. It helps you understand which doors you should walk through and which doors Allah is protecting you from. And the most beautiful part is this: clarity during tahajjud feels different from clarity that comes from thinking. When Allah gives you understanding, it comes with peace, it comes with calmness, it comes with trust, it comes with a sense of this is the right step. Even if it's difficult, you don't feel panicked anymore, you don't feel rushed, you don't feel desperate, you feel guided. Tahajjud shows you that confusion is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that Allah is inviting you to come closer to Him so He can show you the path with His light, not with your limited vision. What you cannot understand at noon becomes clear at 3 a.m. because your heart finally becomes quiet enough to hear what Allah has been guiding you toward all along. Tahajjud protects you from what you're not strong enough to face. There are so many things in life that you are not aware of, yet they affect you every single day. You walk through situations not knowing what could have happened if Allah didn't protect you. You meet people without realizing who might harm you later. You make choices without seeing the dangers behind them. You step into moments without understanding what tests were waiting for you. And the truth is, you are not strong enough to face everything that exists in this world. Your heart is not strong enough to handle every person. Your mind is not strong enough to survive every situation. Your emotions are not strong enough to carry every burden. You cannot see the future. You cannot see hidden intentions. You cannot see spiritual dangers, but Allah can. Allah sees everything long before it reaches you. Sometimes Allah protects you by not giving you what you wanted. Sometimes He protects you by removing someone you were begging to keep. Sometimes He protects you by delaying something you thought was good for you. Sometimes He protects you from mistakes you were seconds away from making. And sometimes He protects you from heartbreaks you never saw coming. But this kind of protection requires a heart that is close to Allah. Because the softer your heart is, the more damage it can take. The more emotional you are, the easier it is for people to break you. The more hopeful you are, the easier it is for disappointment to enter your life. A soft heart without divine protection is like walking barefoot on sharp stones. This is why tahajjud is a shield. When you stand before Allah in the quiet of the night, you are asking Him not only for blessings, but also for unseen protection. You are asking Him to guard you from things you don't see, don't understand, and are not ready for. You are asking Him to stop tests that would crush your heart. You are asking Him to close doors that look beautiful from the outside, but are filled with pain inside. You are asking Him to remove people who pretend to care, but carry hidden harm. You are asking Him to protect you not just from others, but from your own weaknesses, your own desires, your own impulses, your own blind spots. Allah responds to those who seek Him at night by placing invisible walls around their hearts. He places barriers between you and the harm that was coming your way. He sends angels to turn dangers away before they reach you. He gently pushes you away from environments that would damage your soul. He distracts you from people who would break your spirit. He closes a chapter before it becomes a wound. He ends a connection before it becomes a heartbreak. He stops a yes from happening because it would lead to years of regret. These protections feel painful at first because you don't see what Allah is protecting you from. But later you look back and say, if Allah didn't save me from that, I would have destroyed myself. When you pray tahajjud, you walk into your day wrapped in a kind of safety that others don't understand. You don't realize how protected you are, but you feel lighter, you feel calmer. You feel less attached to things that are not good for you. You feel your heart being pulled away from harm, even when your mind doesn't understand why. You feel doors closing and you don't fight them anymore because your soul knows Allah is saving you from something hidden. You feel a peace that makes no sense to others because they don't know how many arrows were coming toward you that never reached you. This is the unseen protection that comes from standing before Allah at a time when no one else is watching. And the most beautiful part is that Allah protects you even from the disasters you prayed for without knowing they were disasters. He protects you from the person you were begging for who was not written for your peace. He protects you from paths you thought were good but would have drained you. He protects you from your own impatience that could have led you into harm. He protects you from your heart's confusion and your mind's weakness. He protects you from everything you cannot carry. Tahajjud is not just a prayer of asking, it is a prayer of protecting. It is Allah surrounding your heart with a shield that you cannot see, but you feel every day in the form of peace, safety, redirection, and sudden distance from things that were not meant for you. Tahajjud hands your problems directly to Allah. There are many problems in life that you try to solve on your own. You stress about them, you overthink them, you talk to people about them, you look for solutions everywhere, you try different plans, different actions, different approaches, but no matter how hard you try, some problems simply do not move. They stay in the same place. They feel stuck, heavy, and impossible to fix. You feel like you're carrying a weight that keeps getting heavier, and all you want is for someone to help you. But the truth is, people cannot handle the things you are carrying. They can listen, they can comfort you, but they cannot fix what is breaking your heart from inside. They cannot control the future, they cannot change destiny, and they cannot solve the problems that belong only between you and Allah. You are not meant to solve everything by yourself. You are not meant to carry every burden alone. You are not meant to control every situation, every result, every outcome. Some things in your life require surrender, not effort. Some things require trust, not planning. Some things require letting go, not holding on tighter. And this is where tahajjud becomes something beautiful. When everyone else is asleep, when the world is quiet, when your heart is honest, you finally have the courage to admit to Allah, I can't fix this, but you can. I can't carry this anymore, but you can. I don't know what to do, but you know everything. During the day, your heart fights with your problems. At night, your heart releases them. You place everything that is confusing, painful, heavy, or impossible into Allah's hands. You stop pretending to be strong. You stop acting like you know what to do. You stop forcing solutions. You slow down enough to realize that the one who controls everything is the only one who can fix anything. And the moment you hand your problems to Allah during tahajjud, something shifts inside you. The things that were suffocating you begin to feel lighter. The stress that was crushing your mind begins to soften. The pain in your chest begins to open. The confusion that blinded you begins to clear. You realize that the burden was never meant to be carried by you in the first place. Allah takes your problems in ways you cannot see. He begins to rearrange things in your life quietly. He changes people's hearts. He blocks certain paths. He opens others. He brings new opportunities. He removes hidden dangers. He sends unexpected help. He guides your thoughts. He places new ideas in your mind. He creates solutions you never imagined. And all of this happens without noise, without announcement, without you even realizing that the change began the moment you spoke to Him at night. What feels impossible to you is easy for Allah. What feels heavy to you is light for Him. What feels confusing to you is clear to Him. What feels delayed to you is perfectly timed by Him. Allah does not fix your problems only by changing your situation. He fixes your problems by changing their direction, their impact, their timing, and even your heart toward them. He takes the weight off your soul in ways no one else can. This is why the problems that once made you cry suddenly stop hurting. The situations that were controlling your emotions suddenly lose their power. The things that used to break you no longer affect you the same way. You feel protected, guided, and supported from a place that is beyond anything in this world. The most beautiful part is that when you hand your problems to Allah at tahajjud, you don't walk into your day alone. You walk with a heart that is held, with a spirit that is supported, with a soul that is strengthened, and with a mind that no longer feels lost. You start to feel that Allah is managing everything behind the scenes, rearranging your life with wisdom, mercy, and love. The problems that felt impossible finally begin to move, not because of your effort, but because you surrendered them to the one who never fails. Tahajjud softens the journey of your qadr. There are moments in your life when you look at your situation and think, why is this taking so long? Why is nothing happening? Why does everything feel delayed? You fight with your own thoughts. You feel frustrated. You feel stuck between wanting to trust Allah and wanting everything to happen right now. You wonder if you are doing something wrong, or if Allah is unhappy with you, or if your du'as are being ignored. But the truth is far deeper and more comforting than you think. Your destiny is written with wisdom, and every step toward it has its own timing, its own pace, and its own hidden reasons. Sometimes Allah does not change your situation immediately because your heart is not ready for what is written for you. Sometimes He delays something to protect you from a bigger pain. Sometimes He slows down your journey because the timing of the blessing is more important than the blessing itself. And sometimes Allah waits before giving you something because He wants you to grow into the person who can carry that blessing without destroying yourself. What you see as a delay is often Allah preparing a better version of what you asked for. When you pray tahajjud, something beautiful begins to happen to your destiny, not by changing the plan itself, but by softening the way you reach it. The tests feel lighter, the waiting becomes calmer, the path becomes smoother, the pain becomes easier to carry, the confusion becomes less sharp. The same destiny that once felt heavy starts to feel gentle, manageable, and filled with meaning. Your heart starts to accept what you used to fight. Your mind starts to relax around what used to stress you. You begin to feel guided rather than blocked. Allah doesn't just write your destiny, He also writes the emotional strength you will have on the path toward it. Through tahajjud, your spirit becomes prepared for what is coming. You gain patience without feeling forced. You gain trust without struggling. You gain acceptance without feeling defeated. You begin to see that every delay had a purpose. Every closed door had protection behind it. And every pause was saving you from arriving too early to something meant for a later chapter. You realize that Allah wasn't withholding anything from you. He was shaping you so you could receive it in the best possible way. The most comforting part is that tahajjud changes your relationship with time. You stop feeling desperate. You stop feeling like everything must happen right now. You stop questioning why Allah is taking so long. Instead, you feel as if your heart is being carried toward your destiny with a softness that you could not create on your own. You begin to trust Allah's timing more than your own desires. You begin to realize that if Allah has written something for you, nothing can take it away. And if He has not written it, nothing can force it into your life. This brings a kind of peace that no advice, no explanation, and no person can give. You start walking through life differently. You stop running toward things that aren't yours. You stop chasing people who were never written for your journey. You stop fearing the future because you feel Allah guiding every step. You begin to see beauty in patience, not pain. You begin to see mercy in delays, not punishment. You begin to see protection in closed doors, not rejection. Tahajjud doesn't change what is written for you. It changes how gently and peacefully you arrive where Allah wants you to be. Tahajjud wakes up your sleeping soul. There are times in life when you feel like something inside you has gone quiet. You pray, but you don't feel much. You read Quran, but the words don't touch you the way they used to. You listen to reminders, but your heart doesn't move the same. You try to feel close to Allah, but your soul feels sleepy, heavy, disconnected. You don't feel the softness you once had, the tears you used to cry easily, the peace you used to feel after making dua, or the lightness that came from remembering Allah. You're not doing anything wrong on purpose. Your heart is just tired. The world has pulled you in too many directions. Stress has drained your spirit. Worries have dimmed your light. Responsibilities have taken over your time. Slowly, without noticing, your soul slipped into a quiet sleep while you were busy trying to survive. This state is one of the most painful experiences for a believer, not because you committed a major sin, but because you miss the connection you once had. You miss the version of yourself who felt close to Allah, who cried easily when remembering Him, who felt faith deeply. You miss the feeling of being spiritually alive, even if your life was not perfect. And no matter how much you try to revive that feeling during the day, it doesn't come back the same. Your heart feels blocked, your emotions feel numb, and your soul feels far away from the place it used to live peacefully. But something special happens at night. When you stand before Allah during Tahajjud, in that silence, your soul wakes up slowly, gently, beautifully. The quiet around you allows your heart to breathe again. The darkness of the night feels like a blanket that covers your worries and lets you focus only on Allah. Your soul, which was sleeping inside you, begins to open its eyes. You start to feel things you haven't felt in a long time. You feel your chest becoming lighter. You feel a softness returning. You feel your eyes getting warm. You feel a tiny spark inside your heart that says, I am still here. During Tahajjud, you are not rushed. There is no pressure, no noise, no expectations. You can talk to Allah the way your heart wants to, not the way people taught you to. You can cry without holding back. You can whisper without fear. You can admit your weakness without shame. This honesty wakes up your soul because souls wake up through truth, not through routine. When you stop pretending to be strong and allow your heart to break in front of Allah, the connection slowly returns. Your soul begins to wake up in stages. First, you feel a strange calmness that you didn't feel all day. Then you feel a small connection to your dua. Then you feel your heart reacting to Quran again, even if just a little. Then you feel tears forming without forcing them. Then you feel your heart longing for Allah instead of the world. This is your spiritual self opening again after being asleep for so long. The beauty of Tahajjud is that it wakes up the part of you that the world quietly killed. It revives the sincerity that stress buried. It restores the softness that hurtful experiences stole. It brings back the purity that sins had covered. It reconnects you to Allah in a way that daytime worship cannot. Your soul becomes alive again, not suddenly but gently, like a flower opening after a long winter. And once the soul wakes up, everything else in your life changes. Worship becomes easier. Dua becomes sweeter. Quran touches your heart again. Salah no longer feels like an obligation. It feels like a meeting with someone you love. Your heart becomes more peaceful, your thoughts become clearer, and your life begins to feel guided again. You feel like you are walking with Allah, not just worshipping Him from a distance. This awakening is one of the greatest gifts of Tahajjud. It doesn't just strengthen your mind or comfort your heart, it wakes up your soul, the deepest part of you, the part that was created to know Allah, love Allah, and return to Allah. When your soul wakes up, you stop feeling lost, because a heart that is connected to Allah can never be truly lost. Tahajjud brings barakah that daylight effort cannot. And there are days when you feel like no matter how hard you work, nothing seems to move. You put in the effort, you try your best, you plan, you rush, you sacrifice your sleep, you stress about results, and yet everything feels slow. You see other people rising faster, achieving more, receiving opportunities you wished for, and you start to feel that maybe you are lacking something. You begin to think that maybe you are not trying hard enough, or maybe your destiny is simply not as generous as theirs. But what you don't realize is that success in this world is not only about effort, it is not only about hard work, it is not only about intelligence or skill. True success comes from something called barakah, something that only Allah can put into your life. Barakah is when a small effort becomes powerful. It is when a little time becomes enough. It is when a simple idea becomes a big opportunity. It is when a short conversation opens a huge door. It is when you do less but receive more. It is when Allah multiplies your results in a way that doesn't match the amount of work you put in. And this barakah does not always come from working longer hours or pushing yourself harder. Barakah comes from Allah, and one of the strongest ways to receive it is through tahajjud. When you wake up at night and stand before Allah, something changes in the unseen world around you. Allah places a light in your day that makes things flow more smoothly. He blesses your time so you finish in 1 hour what might take others 3. He blesses your thinking so you understand things more clearly than before. He blesses your conversations so they lead to opportunities you didn't expect. He blesses your actions so even small efforts create big results. You begin to notice that you are moving differently, not because you suddenly became more talented, but because Allah put barakah in your life. People around you may work harder than you, but your results begin to look different. Your ideas start to come naturally. Your tasks feel easier, your decisions feel guided, your steps feel smoother. You begin to feel a hidden push behind you, as if unseen hands are helping you move forward. This is not luck, this is not coincidence, this is barakah. And barakah comes from moments when you stood before Allah when everyone else was asleep. During tahajjud, you are not just asking for blessings, you are asking for Allah to enter your day, to shape it, to make it flow, to remove difficulties before they appear, to place help in your path before you need it, to position you in the right place at the right time with the right people. When Allah does this, even your failures become stepping stones, even your delays become protection, and even your small actions create waves of goodness. You begin to feel grateful for things you cannot explain. You wake up with energy even after sleeping less. You find creative solutions that didn't occur to you before. Your mind becomes clearer. Your heart becomes calmer. Your day unfolds with a kind of ease that you know is not coming from you. It is coming from Allah. And the beautiful thing is that you don't have to tell anyone. People will notice it themselves. They will see a glow in your progress. They will say you are lucky. They will think things just work out for you. But you will know the truth. It is the night prayer. It is the whispers you made in the dark. It is the tears nobody saw. It is the effort you made when your body wanted to sleep, but your heart wanted Allah. Barakah is not loud. It does not come with noise. It doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly, gently, silently, changing your life from the inside, turning your struggles into ease, and turning your small efforts into something meaningful, lasting, and beautiful. You begin to feel like your life is being carried by a force that is greater than your strength, and that force is the barakah Allah places in the life of those who seek Him during the night. Tahajjud does not just bless your worship or your heart. It blesses your rizq, your time, your opportunities, your direction, and your entire future. Tahajjud heals the wounds you never speak about. There are wounds inside you that you don't talk about, wounds that you hide even from the people closest to you. Some of these wounds didn't come from big events. They came from small moments that broke you slowly, words that hurt you, promises that were broken, people who walked away, dreams that collapsed, times when you felt unwanted, unseen, or unimportant. And because life kept moving, you never had the chance to sit with that pain. You buried it. You pretended it didn't matter. You told yourself to stay strong, but just because you ignore something, it doesn't mean it disappears. The wound stays. It sits quietly inside your chest, hidden behind your smile, waiting for a moment when your heart is weak enough for it to surface again. Some wounds are so deep that you don't even know how to explain them. You don't know where to start, or how to put them into words, or even how to understand them yourself. These are the wounds that make you feel empty without knowing why. They make you overthink. They make you fear being hurt again. They make you build walls around your heart. They make you push away what is good and hold on to what is harmful. They make you lose trust in people and sometimes even in yourself. These wounds shape the way you see the world, the way you love, the way you expect things to go wrong, the way you protect yourself from everything, even from the things that Allah wants to give you. During the day, you stay busy, you distract yourself, you force yourself to keep going, you try to forget the pain. But at night, when everything is silent and your soul is honest, the heart starts whispering the truth it hides from you. And this is exactly why Tahajjud becomes a healing place for wounds you never speak about. When you stand before Allah during the night, you are not performing for anyone. You are not trying to look strong. You are not trying to be perfect. You are just you, raw, tired, hurting, honest. You speak to Allah in a way you cannot speak to people. You cry in a way you cannot cry during the day. You let go of feelings you have held on to for years. You admit pain you never admitted before, and your tears become a language that only Allah understands. Allah listens to the things you cannot express. He hears the pain behind the words you cannot find. He sees the heaviness in your chest even when you don't know why it's there. He knows the wound that keeps reopening in your life. He knows the memory that still stings, the fear that still controls you, the disappointment you still carry, the heartbreak that still hurts even if it happened long ago. And He begins to heal it in ways that feel almost unnoticeable at first. You start to feel a release inside your heart. You start to feel the weight becoming lighter. You start to feel emotions you haven't felt in a long time. Relief, peace, softness, hope. The pain that used to sit like a stone in your chest starts to break apart slowly. Healing through Tahajjud is not sudden. It doesn't happen in one night. It doesn't happen with one tear. It happens in layers, quietly and gently. One night you feel comfort, another night you feel a little stronger, another night you feel clarity, another night you feel peace, another night you feel like the wound that once controlled you is losing power. Allah heals you in a way that you don't even realize is happening until one day you notice that the thing that used to break you no longer hurts you the same way. You notice that your heart feels lighter than it has in years. You notice that you are not reacting with the same pain or fear. You notice that what once overwhelmed you now feels like something you can handle. The most beautiful part is that Allah heals you without making you reopen your wound in front of people. He heals you privately. He heals you with love. He heals you with gentleness. He heals you without embarrassing you or exposing your pain. He heals you with mercy that you feel deep inside your soul. The world sees you smiling, but only Allah knows what He fixed inside you at a time when no one else was watching. Tahajjud is not just a prayer. It is where Allah takes the pain that makes you silent during the day and replaces it with a peace that makes you stronger at night. It is where the wound finally begins to close. Tahajjud fixes you before it fixes your life. There comes a point in every person's life when they are begging for their situation to change. You want the job to come, the relationship to work, the anxiety to end, the pain to leave, the opportunity to open, the heartbreak to heal, the confusion to clear. You make dua again and again, hoping something outside of you will shift. You look at your life and think, if only this problem was gone, everything would be fine. But what most people do not realize is that sometimes the situation doesn't change because you need to change first. Allah does not want to simply fix the surface of your life. He wants to fix the root, the inner place where your reactions, decisions, desires, and fears come from. There are patterns inside you that repeat themselves in every stage of your life. The same mistakes show up with different people. The same emotions rise in different situations. The same fears return even after things get better. This happens because the problem is not always in the world around you. The problem is often something inside your heart that needs healing, strengthening, or transforming. And this is where Tahajjud becomes something truly life-changing. Tahajjud works on the hidden parts of you, the parts you don't show people, the parts you don't know how to fix, the parts you've been avoiding, the parts that control your reactions without you realizing it. When you stand before Allah in the silence of the night, you see yourself honestly. There is no pretending, no rushing, no performing. You see your flaws without blaming yourself. You see your pain without hiding it. You see your mistakes without running from them. You see your weakness without feeling ashamed. And when you see yourself clearly, Allah begins to work on you from the inside. He softens your heart in places where it had become hard. He gives you patience where you used to rush. He gives you wisdom where you used to act emotionally. He gives you strength where you used to collapse. He gives you peace where you used to panic. He gives you maturity where you used to be reactive. Slowly you begin to notice that you are not the same person you were before. You handle situations differently. You respond to stress with more calmness. You walk away from things that once trapped you. You forgive faster. You detach from what hurts you. You stop chasing what is not yours. You start listening to your heart with more wisdom. You stop depending on people for the happiness only Allah can give. You start trusting the path even when you don't understand it. This inner transformation begins reflecting in your outer life. Things that used to fall apart begin to stabilize. Relationships become healthier. Opportunities begin to appear. You begin to choose better for yourself. You become someone who can receive blessings without wasting them. The truth is, Allah cannot give certain blessings to a heart that is not ready for them. A weak heart destroys what it receives. A fearful heart blocks what is meant for it. A wounded heart misunderstands what Allah sends. A rushed heart ruins what it touches. So Allah changes you first. He strengthens you so you can handle what He has written. He purifies your intentions so your blessings don't become a source of regret. He heals your wounds so you don't sabotage the goodness He places in your life. He teaches you patience so you don't break under the weight of your own desires. He teaches you trust so that your faith remains strong even when life becomes unclear. This change does not happen overnight. It happens one quiet night at a time, one tear at a time, one whisper at a time, one moment of surrender at a time. Slowly, you become someone new, someone you did not even know you could be. And then one day, without realizing it, you wake up and see that the problems that once broke you no longer control you. The situations that once scared you no longer shake you. The behaviors you used to regret have disappeared. The wounds that once defined you no longer hurt. You became stronger, wiser, calmer, softer, more beautiful inside. And that inner transformation is the key that unlocks the outer blessings you have been praying for. Allah does not only solve your problems, He prepares you to receive the solution with strength, gratitude, and maturity. This is why many times in life, the dua is not answered immediately. Not because Allah is delaying you, but because He is completing you. He is making you into the person who is capable of carrying the blessing you asked for. Tahajjud fixes you before it fixes your life. And when you are fixed from within, everything around you slowly begins to fall into place. Tahajjud gives you a relationship with Allah that makes life easy. There comes a time in life when you realize that no matter how many people you know, no matter how many friends you have, no matter how much support surrounds you, there is a space inside your heart that only Allah can fill. This is the space where your fears hide, where your loneliness sleeps, where your secret thoughts live, where your real worries breathe. People can sit next to you, they can talk to you, they can care for you, but they cannot enter that inner space. They cannot touch the part of you that cries silently. They cannot reach the place where your deepest worries live. And because of that, you sometimes feel alone, even when you are surrounded by everyone. You feel like no one truly understands what you are going through, even when they try. No one understands your past the way Allah does. No one sees your future the way Allah does. No one feels your heart the way Allah does. And this is why Tahajjud becomes a different kind of relationship altogether. When you wake up in the night, when everyone else is asleep, you are not just praying, you are building a personal, intimate, private connection with Allah that cannot be compared to anything else. It is a relationship built on honesty, vulnerability, and pure sincerity. In the daytime, you often pray with your mind. During Tahajjud, you pray with your heart. During the day, you remember Allah while being pulled by the world. At night, you remember Allah while being pulled only by Him. During the day, you talk to Allah with words. At night, you talk to Him with your soul. When you stand before Allah in the quiet darkness, you feel Him closer than ever. You feel something deep inside you finally relaxing, as if your heart can breathe again. You feel a calmness that you cannot describe. You feel a warmth spreading through your chest. You feel a comfort that settles into your bones. It is in these moments that you begin to realize that this connection is not like other connections. Allah does not interrupt you. He does not judge you. He does not get tired of hearing the same du'as. He does not misunderstand you. He does not compare you to others. He does not need you to be perfect. He accepts you with all your flaws, all your fears, all your mistakes, all your weaknesses. And He still loves you. And the more you turn to Allah in the night, the more your heart becomes attached to Him in a healthy, beautiful way. You start depending less on people and more on Allah. You stop expecting others to heal you because you realize that true healing only comes from Him. You stop begging for attention, approval, or validation because your heart feels full without it. You stop fearing loss because you know the one who gives can replace anything. You stop chasing what is not written for you because your heart begins to trust Allah's timing. You stop being afraid of the future because the one who controls the future is the one you speak to every night. Over time, this relationship becomes the strongest part of your life. You can be betrayed by people, but you know Allah will never betray you. You can be disappointed by people, but you know Allah's plan will never disappoint you. You can lose people, but you know you can never lose Allah. When this connection grows, life becomes lighter. Not because your problems disappear, but because your heart no longer faces them alone. There is a softness in your chest, a stability in your mind, a peace in your soul that comes from knowing that Allah is close, that Allah is listening, that Allah is watching over you, and that Allah is taking care of you in ways you do not even see. This connection changes the way you walk through life. You become less shaken by tests. You become less hurt by people's opinions. You become less scared of changes. You become less attached to temporary things. You begin to experience a type of peace that does not depend on circumstances, a peace that comes from being anchored to Allah. And you begin to feel love for Allah that is not based on fear or routine, but based on real closeness, real comfort, real reliance, real gratitude. Tahajjud gives you something no person in this world can give you, a relationship with Allah that makes everything else easier. It becomes your safe place, your quiet home, your private healing, your secret strength, your invisible protection, and the deepest source of peace your heart has ever known. And once you taste this connection, you never want to lose it because you realize that the entire world can change, people can leave, life can break, but as long as you have Allah, you have everything you need. There comes a moment in every person's life when they feel tired in a way they cannot explain. A tired heart, a tired mind, a tired soul, a tired hope. You reach a point where you look at your life and quietly whisper, Ya Allah, I don't know what to do anymore. You don't want to give up, but you also don't know how to keep going. You don't want to lose hope, but you don't know how to hold it. You don't want to fall apart, but your heart feels like it is slowly breaking in places you didn't even know existed. And in that moment of softness, in that moment of honesty, in that moment where the world feels heavy, Allah gently invites you to take one step toward Him in the silence of the night. It doesn't matter how long it has been since you prayed Tahajjud. It doesn't matter how broken you feel. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. It doesn't matter how confused your heart is. It doesn't matter how many chapters ended painfully. Allah is not asking you to come with perfection. He is asking you to come with sincerity. He is not asking you to come with strength. He is asking you to come with honesty. He is not asking you to come with long recitation. He is asking you to bring your heart exactly as it is, tired, lost, hurting, hopeful, or empty. Because when you stand before Allah in the quiet of the night, you are standing in front of the one who already knows every detail you keep hidden. You may think your dua is small, you may think your voice is weak, you may think your tears mean nothing, but Allah sees what people do not see, Allah hears what people do not hear, Allah understands the pain you don't know how to put into words. Even the whispers you are too shy to say out loud carry weight in the heavens when they rise from a sincere heart. Even the tear that slips quietly down your face becomes a testimony of your faith. Even the breath you take while trying not to cry becomes a dua that Allah answers with mercy. And the truth is, you are never closer to Allah than when you wake up just to speak to Him. In that moment, you are not just praying, you are returning, you are not just asking, you are trusting, you are not just crying, you are healing, you are not just hoping, you are surrendering. Every second you spend in Tahajjud becomes a seed planted in your destiny, a light placed in your heart, a protection written for your future, a healing poured into your wounds, and a softness gifted to your soul. One sajda during Tahajjud can change the direction of your entire life. One sincere moment can give you peace that years of struggle could not. One whisper can bring a solution you never imagined. One tear can wash away months of pain. One step toward Allah at night can bring 1,000 steps of mercy toward you during the day. This is the hidden power of Tahajjud. It doesn't just change your situation, it changes you. And when you change, everything around you begins to shift in ways you cannot see yet. So tonight, even if you are tired, even if you are hurting, even if your heart feels heavy, try to wake up for just a few minutes. Not for a long prayer, not for perfect recitation, just for a moment of honesty between you and Allah. Tell Him everything. Tell Him what you fear. Tell Him what you dream of. Tell Him what you miss. Tell Him what hurts. Tell Him what is stopping you. Tell Him what you want to let go of. Tell Him what you want Him to give you. Tell Him what you want Him to remove from your life. Tell Him what you want Him to fix inside your heart. Because when you turn to Allah at a time when the world is asleep, Allah turns to you in ways the world cannot understand. He replaces your fear with peace, your confusion with clarity, your sadness with strength, your emptiness with purpose, and your pain with a softness that makes you feel alive again. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And the moment you raise your hands in the darkness, the heavens open for you with a mercy that has been waiting just for your heart. Your life can change. Your heart can heal. Your path can open. Your destiny can shift, everything can transform, and it can begin with one quiet prayer in the middle of the night.